Welcome to Friends Like Us Live. I'm Marina Franklin here with
Evelyn Frick.
woohoo. And if you're just signing on and you didn't know why I do this every Saturday unless I'm on the road with my assistant or my friend. I should say they were right. They were like, "Why do you call her your assistant?" Evelyn Frick and David Juskow.
Yes.
Do you hear an echo?
I do not. Do you hear one?
I do. It's weird.
Weird.
Oh. Oh no. Why is it doing that?
Is on your end or my end?
Oh, you know what? It's because I have my YouTube open. That's what was happening. I was
That's
like
happened to
hearing
me before, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like my computer is imploding.
That's what's been going on with me this week. It's like when things happen technically,
Yeah.
I like everything stops.
Yeah.
Everything stops. Like I could like this week, like so I do this to promote my podcast, Friends Like Us. Let's go there where I was starting with. And if you didn't know, it's a podcast that you can listen to. It's on all platforms. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. That's the main forum. You can get it on Pocket Cast, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. That's how you listen to it. But we have great audio, with the exception this week. I still sound good, but I had on my gamer headset because of the technical issue I had. Like, for whatever reason, my mic was not connected to the board and I had to call my tech guy. I like lose it. It took me like 3 hours, Evelyn, to deal with that.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, like when you would think that like the pandemic would make people more technically savvy, and like maybe it has, but at least for me, like I still have a full-on meltdown when my like computer or like my Wi-Fi is not working.
What did you do today?
Today has been I've been so busy recently that today was just more of a relaxing day. Last Saturday, actually, I wasn't on the stream because my boss invited me to her baby's first birthday, which was really cute. So I was there. That was out in New Jersey. And then on Sunday, my company did a little work retreat up in Chappaqua, New York.
This is a nice job.
It was it was really lovely. It was at this place called the Edith Macy Center, which I guess is like the Girl Scout headquarters or something. I'm not sure why, but they had really great cookies there. So I was like upstate, and then I came back. And I've been busy. I'm supposed to go out to Chicago next weekend to visit my sister and visit my parents.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because next May 20th, I can't remember the year, is my parents' wedding anniversary. So it'll be nice to celebrate with them. And then I get back and I'm hosting a comedy show for work. So I've kind of been all over the place recently, but it's fun. It's been fun. It's been good.
Really nice. That's a good
Yeah.
schedule.
It is
Good.
a good schedule.
Good
Yeah,
for
it's like
you.
I think the most busy I've really like been since, and the most around people I've been since the start of the pandemic. And it felt good. It felt nice to kind of get into a rhythm of just like going, you know.
I said that to someone a week ago. I forgot what I was doing, but I was sitting at a table with like 4 other people without my mask somewhere. And I was like, this is the most activity I've had in a while. Like this. And they were like, "Oh, really?" They were like, "You need to get out." I was like, "I just don't, though." I mean, I go to work, I do, of course, I'm in front of audiences, and that feels like activity, but it's not. Like, really, it's like you go and then you go to one shell of a space, and then you come.
Yeah.
Not that it's just a shell, but you go to, one location, another. It's a rhythm, but
Yeah.
nothing has really been like. And I'm very like careful, so I'm still very like I don't hang out.
Yeah, yeah.
But
No,
you're right.
same. Most people I know kind of have gotten into the rhythm of like essentially the pandemic is over. which, no judgment. I understand people's want to do that. I just like personally am still trying to be COVID cautious. But yeah, so like most of my friends and people I know are like, oh yeah, like this, like that's a normal schedule for me when I was talking about like what I've been up to.
Yeah, you're right. It's the pandemic feels like because the woman she stepped down
Oh
from the
yeah, the CDC.
CDC.
Hmm.
They've basically globally WHO has downgraded it to the third position
Oh
of,
really?
yeah, of it being an emergency.
Okay.
It's in third place.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of left to make our own decisions, and like it's just like basically they're saying it's over, but no one's saying it's over, but they're saying it's over.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
still wear a mask because I still hear these stories
Yeah.
of people getting COVID.
Yeah.
And all I know is I don't hear anything about the next vaccine or
Right, exactly. Like I have no idea. Like it's been about 6 or 7 months since I got the bivalent COVID vaccine. So I'm sure like that immunity has worn down. I'd love to get another one soon.
no one's they're not there. I feel like, is it me? I just feel like they're not, and like
No, it's also,
insurance is not gonna cover some things, or they said if you want the tests that come in the
yeah.
mail that are free, do it now.
Yeah, that's what
So
I've
go
heard
to
too.
USPS.com and order your free COVID test now, because they won't be doing this after, like, I think this week or something. So,
Oh, yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
and everyone has stopped wearing masks for the most part. I still see a few people wearing a mask,
Yeah.
but on the subway, I see even less people wearing a mask.
I know.
Whereas it's like, it's the subway.
I know when like I totally agree. I don't see people wearing masks on the subway, and like in my head I'm like, okay, even if like people are not wearing masks as much anymore, I thought we collectively agreed that we wear masks on the subway just because it's so gross.
It is. It is so gross. And it's like, I don't know. It just it's on the subway.
Yeah.
Uh, you know what though? I learned a lot from the mask wearing became a habit.
Yeah.
And that is what I learned. I learned a lot from the pandemic about good habits and bad habits.
Yeah.
Like, bad habits are easy
Yeah.
to do, have, or create.
Yeah.
But good habits are hard to keep.
They're
But
so hard
if
to
you
keep.
start doing it, you won't even think about it after a while. Like, I wear a mask because of it's a habit now for me. So
Same.
like for me, walking into a location without a mask, I feel naked.
Same. Yeah.
I
It's
feel
uncomfortable.
I feel so uncomfortable and weird and naked. I'm sure people would love that image, but it's just like,
Yeah.
it's just the habit that I've created for myself, because that's what I prefer for myself. And like you said, no judgments. We're not judging anyone. We're just
Yeah.
saying, like, respect others. And that seems to be the other lesson that came out of the pandemic that didn't really stay,
Yeah.
right? It's just being respectful of other people's choices.
Yeah. Or just like respectful generally. I don't know. Like I've been reading a lot about like just one example of this is like theater etiquette as of late, like after, the height of the pandemic, like people don't know how to act in theaters anymore. Like they'll be on their phones, they'll be talking through shows. And like I'm hearing this about like Broadway shows where people are paying a lot of money to go see performances. It's not great.
Oh, look, Mike, I love Deca too. I know somebody with it right now and had to be admitted, but doing
Mhm.
better. Yeah, it's just, and I'm not ready. I'm like, not yet, not yet.
Yeah.
There's certain things like, I measured risks, of course.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
I
I mean,
say,
it helps that it's spring and like summer is coming so fast, and like it feels a little bit like summer now, at least to me in New York. So it's just so much easier to like be outside all the time with people and do things like that, which to me feel safer.
So, hello, Sujay. Sujay, am I saying your name right? Sujay and I talk now all the time, right, Sujay?
Hey.
Hello, all. Yes, I just saw a Broadway show this week, and people were talking like they were in their living rooms.
Oof.
Oh, ooh, very sunny. Or yeah, it's nice weather out here in New York. It's a
It's
beautiful
gorgeous.
day. Beautiful. I
Yeah.
went to the farmers market,
Oh,
and
yes.
the soap lady was there
Oh, incredible.
because it's not raining.
Yeah.
And oh my God, let me tell you, I think I can go to my story. I'll go to the story in a second when Juskow is here. But her soaps, I have it right here sitting next to me because it smells so good. Like I
I need
just
to
like
order some of her soaps online. They look incredible. Ooh, yes.
you see that?
Yeah. What are those little buds? Is
This
that
is like
lavender?
these are little I think carrot and
Ooh.
tree seeds, and it's like carrot, lemon, I forget what else is in this. I have the box, but this one is my favorite.
It looks so
And
nice.
she didn't have that much of this one. I took most of it. I took it all. I left one, and I know Tamara. I told Tamara to go, who's always on here,
Oh, nice.
because she was looking for her last week and she wasn't there, and
Mm.
she was there today. And so I text Tamara. I was like, "She's here." And Tamara was like, "I'm on my way out the door," because
That's great.
she's. I told her. I said, "You must have like high demand and like, do you need help? Because
Yeah.
your stuff is so like your product is so good.
Yeah.
Like like sometimes you just realize someone puts their heart into it. And she's such a lovely person.
Yeah.
She's been on the podcast. It's Lily May Aromas. I'm going to put it in the
Mm.
chat. But you can order her soaps. And she's in Brooklyn, Evelyn.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay, that's
she
good to
does
know.
farmers markets in Brooklyn. Yeah, no, I be hoarding the soap. Look, TV's like Marina hoarding the soap. Oh yeah, I got really carried away. Here's another one. Oh, it's the same. I got a little I really like this one because it smells so good in my bathroom, and it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
let's see what's, oh yeah, here's one.
Ooh,
Yeah, you see that? Look at that. Look at that.
that looks great.
Oh, and it smells so good. It's like sea moss. This is sea
Ooh.
moss and Hogwarts or whatever. I don't know. Some hog thumb. And but you can go, I'm gonna put it in the chat in a little bit. And you can go on there and you can get like all these soaps. I haven't used like regular soap since going
Yeah.
to her. And I don't have like skin irritation.
Oh, that's
I
great.
have no problems when I go on the road, like for example, and I go to hotels. It
Yeah.
smells up my whole hotel room. It like gives it a whole new, it makes me
Yeah.
feel, and it just gives you a feeling like aromatherapy can change my
Oh,
mood.
absolutely. It feels really wonderful right now. I use Dr. Bronner's soap, which is like fairly natural, and I have the lavender one right now. So like every time I take a shower, it's like I'm at the spa. It just feels so good.
Oh, lavender. Ooh,
Hmm.
yes. I love lavender. Yes. And it's so funny because my sister caught me using another soap from this antique store that I went to. She was like, "You're cheating on her
That's so funny.
by using another soap." But she's just so sweet. And like the way
Mhm.
that kids respond to her soap. Oh, there, look, Tamara.
Oh, that's great. A great Mother's Day
Tamara,
gift.
Tamara, what ones did you get? You know, I took all the I took all of the favorite soap, the Cara, and I took this one. This one gone. This one you shouldn't have seen it. So, but she said it was okay. But the way kids respond to her stand when they walk by is very fascinating. They're like,
Mm.
"Oh, I want to stop here." They're very playful. It wakes them up. They come alive. It's like
Oh,
it's really
that's
cute.
that is really cute.
Oh, look, Sujay's like, I will be there buying soap. Well, she's not going to be here next week. That's the only thing, Sujay. There is going to be the farmers market lady. There is one that is part of the farmers market. Lily May is not a part of this farmers market. She just sets up and they allow her to sell her products there during the farmers market of Morningside Heights. Now, there is a woman that will be there next week who has a product for mosquito bites
Ooh.
that is organic. It has no DEET thing. It doesn't have the stuff that can give you cancer in it, basically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the woman, she sells it, but the woman who makes it could basically, she sells soaps and all that other stuff. But the woman who makes this mosquito repellent, she can go out of business. She doesn't have to like sell soap anymore. She could just sell the mosquito repellent on its own.
I'm sure.
And I went to Cold Springs and they sell it up there too. And the guy was like, yeah, it's a really popular item.
Oh, that's good to know. I'll have to get some.
Yes. So Sujay, next week, that lady will be there. I forget her name because I only think about Lily May. So look. So what happened? I was cutting large parts. What happens is she gives you like a little thing to cut
That's so
soap
fun.
with, so it's like fun and
Yeah.
interactive. And I was like, I need a little bit more of this bar.
That's so funny.
Let me put it in the chat. Lily May aroma or what were we talking about? We were talking about movies.
Oh, you told me about you watched the movie on Hulu called Clock. I think you said.
Yes. I'm like, what is up with all these movies about fertility? They're like horror movies.
Yeah, it makes someone like me not want to have kids because I already know about childbirth and pregnancy being like realistically like really hard and difficult, but now all these horror movies about it. Are really driving
That's
that
it.
home.
And she's Jewish. And so it was the conversation with her dad. Her father was putting the pressure on her to have children because of obviously the Holocaust. And it's like, we need more people. And here you are, you think you're so that it just stops with you. Everything that our whole,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
I know. It's a lot. Yeah, like there's some not in like the Jewish communities that like I grew up in per se, but I know that like in some Jewish communities, like it's kind of like the idea around like having kids is like we need to replace the 6 million Jews that were murdered during the Holocaust. And it's like, oh my God, that's
So much
like
pressure.
that's so much pressure to put on young people. And like I understand like the impulse, like a large swath of the Jewish community was just like eradicated. But like I think we're still doing okay. Like I don't think it needs to put like that much individual pressure on people.
Yeah, I mean, I can't have kids. Obviously, I got too old. But it's funny. I was watching it, and it's on Hulu, and it's like the clock ticking. But it's such an important story to tell because what's interesting is no gynecologist, and it's in this movie. No gynecologist ever said to me, "You don't actually have that option. You either do it now or it's too late." And I think about that often about how my focus was really on my career for a very long time and about finding the right person to have a child if I was to have a child with. I never had this need.
Yeah.
But had I, the clock ticking thing, time was up and then I had breast cancer and then time was really up.
Yeah.
So you just never know what's going to come into your path at some point in your life. So, that conversation about when your time really starts to dwindle should happen with your gynecologist.
I think so. Like I wish like it was more like with like medical professionals saying as opposed I feel like I hear like the phrase like your clock is ticking like said to young women like specifically most of the time from like family members, from parents. And it's like I just feel like it's so frustrating. Oh, I will have to try that. That sounds really good. Tomorrow. But yeah, I feel like it's just like usually from like pressure that's like not in the medical community. And I feel like it's so frustrating because that same pressure isn't like applied to men. Like Robert De Niro just had another kid and he's 79.
You're right. I saw
Which
that.
is
I
so
was like,
crazy.
yeah, what's he doing?
I don't know. Like I personally like my mom had me when she was 38 and my dad was also 38, which is like considered
That's
old.
late. Yeah.
Like they like they called her like that like age is considered a geriatric pregnancy. Um so the entire time she was pregnant with me and my sister, she had my sister when she was 36, like she was just made to feel really really old the whole time. But yeah, like there's no like for me having slightly older parents, like I feel like that's so unfair to that kid because like they're not really gonna know their dad really, like unless like Robert De Niro, like, I'm not wishing anything bad on Robert De Niro, but hope maybe he will live to be like 100 some years. That would be great. But realistically, like this kid isn't gonna know its dad, and I think that's really hard.
Who's the mama?
Yeah, that's the other thing. We don't know.
Whew. That's wild.
It is so wild. Like, I
And
can't like, he's not changing diapers. He's not,
the
like
the thing is, right, is that, like having a child can be considered a selfish thing at a certain age, I think.
mm,
Like if like you said, like what you were saying, like if you're older and you're not going to be around, and like I thought about it, but then it's like, do I want to chase this child around?
yeah.
I mean, I've watched my sister who had her first child. She was young. My mom had me at 18.
Oh, wow.
So my mom was pretty young. And my sister and that was pretty young. My sister was pretty young too. And here's the thing, it's like I know this is going to sound crazy, but it felt like it was right because
Mm,
she had the energy for it.
yeah.
Like after like I'm tired, Evelyn. Like if
Yeah.
in my 50s, you know, I don't have like I'm like, oh, try to get the energy to like I've had late spots all week. It's throwing my whole body out of whack. I can't even imagine doing this with the child. And here's the
Yeah.
thing. There was a comment in this movie Clock where it was like, what do you do all day without a child? And then you have this image of her like having love, getting a massage, she's
Yeah.
working, she's doing all these things. Like it's so funny. I never think about like how my day would actually go down if I had a
Right.
child. I can't imagine it.
No, it's like most of my coworkers have kids. And so like the night that it's nice because my company has like a pretty nice work-life balance because they, take into account that a lot of people will have to like pick up their kids from school and go to dentist appointments with their kids, etc. But they just seem tired all the time, and I need my sleep. I think I'm 25, turning 26 in July. I don't foresee having kids if I do want to have kids for another like 5, 6 years, because I just want to enjoy like being young, and like having free time and free space. But I do like I'm sure if I do have kids, like in the next like 5, 6 years, I will be cursing myself for not having kids earlier because I will be tired and my back will hurt.
Now, did you just say I may have missed it. Did you say you froze your eggs or no?
No, I didn't. I haven't. Like I haven't really looked like I think my girlfriend and I like will probably look into like fertility stuff and in like another few years just to see what options are, but it's so expensive.
The
Um
the brat got into it. I don't know if you saw this
no.
about uh okay, I'm gonna try to share. I can Jessica's gonna be a little late. But Debrat got oh or
Are you still there,
like
Marina? Oh, I think you had frozen just a little bit. Oop. Well, it's just me for the moment. I'll come back. Oh,
Do
hello.
you see me now?
Yes, I do.
That was, you see what happens when I try to do stuff? Why am I doing anything? So I had to refresh the page. But yeah, I was trying to share the video with Debrat
Oh,
about the white sperm donor that they have because, I knew this 5 years ago when I was diagnosed with breast cancer that
yeah.
there's a mad rush to sort of figure out whether or not you wanna have kids, and so you
Yeah.
go to these doctors, and so you have to look for you have to look for a donor egg,
Oh, yeah.
and the things that they don't talk about is that there are not a lot of donor eggs that are black.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it's not talked about because, you know, it's a luxury to be able to do something like that. It costs money.
Yeah.
And a lot of women of color, specifically black women, don't do this. But when you do it, you find out all of the difficulties and you find all of the like I remember the doctor not really being helpful,
Yeah, I'm sure.
not really being encouraging, not really being supportive about it, and kind of judgmental.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I remember like losing hope and thinking, okay, but do I really want to do this? Like, well, I might as well figure it out. But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
finding out like you may not get a black person that looks like you because there's not enough. And we need that story to be out there. So the fact
Yeah.
that Debrat was dragged for saying what she said about this egg looks like Jiminy Cricket or whatever.
Yeah.
The reality is it's a really important story to be out there because of that fact that we need more black donor eggs.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like, when I would like and there's such a specific push, I think, in, like, the, industry of, like, the fertility industry of, like, specifically pushing, like, young white women to donate their eggs. Like, when I was in college, like, I got a bunch of, like, advertising emails of, like, "Are you, like, a young, like, white woman with, like, dark brown hair and Jewish and, like, go to, go to college," basically, like, they're looking for, like, very specific types of people to donate eggs, and it's like, "This
Mm.
feels weird and eugenicsy," like, I don't wanna like, even if I, like, wanted to, like, it just feels really bad.
Yeah. It's a whole thing, you know. I remember my friend's sister, her refrigerator was filled with stuff that I guess hormones or whatever that she
Yeah,
has
for
to
the
take.
injections, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's kind of crazy, like, I ended up on this side of TikTok recently where, like, I there was someone who's a content creator on TikTok who is the child of, like, um, I think a sperm donor, and, like, apparently in the US or, like, anywhere, like, sperm donations, specifically are not, like there's no regulation, no monitoring, and also, like, no regulations on like the process of like fertilizing eggs basically. So there's this phenomena where like one like fertility doctors will fertilize eggs with their own sperm
Oh, that's
and do
right.
that a ton, or like people dudes will just donate a bunch, and so there are these like pods of like donor siblings where it's like 50 children who like grew up in all different families but like came from the same like one donor, and like they aren't allowed any access to their medical information, and also like they're just out there in the world and they don't know they're related, and they could like maybe end up dating each other because they don't like know. It's so crazy and so weird.
That's why you gotta do 23andMe.
Yeah. You gotta figure that out. Well, that's how they've been finding each other. I've been on this woman's journey of like her trying to find her siblings, and they've been like finding each other through like 23andMe and stuff like that.
Oh, look. Oh, yeah, Ally McBeal. Did you ever watch Ally McBeal?
I actually did. I haven't watched the whole show, but I remember I started watching it with my dad when I was in like middle school.
I
It
used
was
to
good. I liked
love
it.
I used to love it. It says, remember the storyline on Ally McBeal when she discovers her donated eggs were used to make a baby and her daughter showed up?
I think I do remember
Oof,
that.
I don't remember I used to love Ally McBeal. Sometimes when I write, I often Ally McBeal is one of those shows that pops into my head quite often. I wonder
It's a
where
good.
she is now.
I like all I can think about when I think about that show is just how tiny of a person Callista Flockhart is. She's so small and so skinny.
Oh my
And
god,
I
yes.
used to think about that all the time when I watch that show.
It's a funny show. Funny like dynamics. Like the way
Yeah.
they had like things come in and out. I forget like what kind of structure that is.
Yeah, yeah.
While I'm talking about structure, have you been picketing?
I I've been trying I've been in solidarity in other ways. I'm in the news guild, not the
Writer
writers
skill.
guild, but we're all in solidarity. I haven't been, but I've been seeing that the picket lines have been really, really strong, which has been really encouraging and really great to see.
Yeah, I have to go picket.
Are you doing that today?
Not today. I'll be doing it next week though. I'm supposed to go and picket. It's really important. One of the things I didn't understand was why it's important is because they prevent actors from going in to
Yeah,
studios because
it
actors
shuts
won't
stuff down.
cross. Yeah, it shuts it down and actors won't cross the line. I
Yeah,
really didn't. I have never. This is my first time being in the Writers Guild. So,
right.
well, not.
Yeah,
I've been in the Writers Guild for a while, but like not since this first strike.
right. Yeah, I know. Like, this is like, I'm learning so much because for the first writer's strike, I was really young.
Put on my picket shoes. Whew, yeah,
It is
well,
so, I can't imagine how exhausting it is just like walking back and forth all day long.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really built for it. But I'll tell you, it's like the okay, I'll say this. I've been avoiding saying. Well, I'll say it. It's like for a while I was noticing people were posting on Instagram, and it just looked like they were having a good time
Yeah.
on the picket line, and I was bothered by it. But then I realized they want you to post pictures. I
Yeah.
just wish people would post pictures where they're kind of struggling, you know. I
Yeah.
But then I was talking with someone and they said, "Well, they're not hurting yet. It's not hurting them yet, but when they start to really feel it, you're going to see it."
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see because SAG's like contract negotiations are starting soon, I think. And so like if SAG goes on strike too, because they have a lot of the same concerns, despite what Fran Drescher says, they have a lot of the same concerns. So I think that will
What does Fran Drescher, what does she say?
she's the president of SAG-AFTRA, and she went out to support a picket line a few days ago, and they like some reporters like asked her like some question about supporting, and she was like, yeah, like the issues are different between like what SAG wants and what the writers want, which actually like isn't true. Like SAG actors, like these like entertainment companies also want to use AI for like acting. They all like there are all these concerns. They also don't want to pay residuals to actors for streaming. So it's a lot of the same like effects that are happening. So I don't know why Fran said that.
That's interesting. She's usually pretty good
I
about
know,
stuff.
yeah. But yeah, so I think if SAG also strikes, I think hopefully the writer strike could end quicker with a good outcome for the writers and actors.
Yes. I feel like I cut off the Facebook comments when I reloaded. I don't see any Facebook
Oh,
comments. Are you
oh.
guys there, Facebook? Sorry. Sometimes things happen. It's been a weird tech week. I was talking about it earlier.
It has been a weird tech week.
Let's see. Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Sarah's one of our new regulars. Welcome
Oh,
back. I used to work for Entertainment Partners who handles the payroll and residuals for the studios and talent. Really? Yeah, I love those residuals. Oh, Thomas Kelly. Okay, you're here. Thomas is like, I'm
awesome.
here. Okay, good. Hi.
Nice.
I just wanted to make sure. Juskow's running late. By the way, we missed you last week.
Oh,
Everyone
thank
missed you.
you.
Juskow was upset that he's always like, he tries to talk stuff when you're not here. So,
I'm sure.
and
Yeah.
everyone had your back. Everyone was like, don't go at our girl.
That's so lovely. Yeah, DJ Eric Prince, I saw your comment. Happy that I'm back. Thank you. I'm always happy to be here.
Yes. Now, TB is saying this is important. See, we all missed Evelyn.
Oh, I missed you guys too.
And let's see here. AI will make worse shows than even reality shows that showed up from the previous. Yeah, so I guess they must be relying on AI right now.
I guess so. Like it's so like it's hard to say like what's happening. I know so many things like the Tonys aren't going to be televised this year because like writers don't want to write
Oh, yes,
for
that's right.
which like I completely like understand and support. So yeah, I think like right now when we're still getting shows that have like previously been written, taped, whatever, like we still have good content, but I'm interested to see like if this goes on for a while, like what TV will we be watching? It sounds like if they're using AI, I think it'll be bad.
I have used AI on like email forms when I write letters because I used to spend a lot of time making my emails nicer.
Yeah.
Because I talk like a friend of mine once told me that she used to love reading my stuff because it sounds like a black girl, a black girl is writing it, like because of my tone. I used to get emails from Yamanika, and I was like, it just had like I could hear her. I could hear her in the email,
That's so funny.
I was like, why do I hear you in the email, Yamanika? Um, but but I have used it with Google lately because Google has finally started to test their AI platforms
Yeah.
in writing form and on Google Docs, and
Yeah.
their stock is like whew, really nice.
Ooh.
It went way up, Evelyn.
Oh
I'm
wow.
very happy.
That's good to know.
My other stock is way down though, so I made one bad investment that is not good.
Ooh.
But that's the lesson I learned is don't invest in something you don't know about.
It's important.
Then you're gambling. Then it is then you are gambling. And I did that. I rolled the dice. I listened to someone. They're saying it's still good. The dividend is still high. But everything that I learned from my uncle, who was very smart about stocks, everything that I learned, I did not apply to it because I listened to this person.
Mm.
And I was looking at the charts. I was doing my analytical research.
Ooh.
And I knew it was going to take a dive, and it did. I mean, 10%.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, it went down.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let's see what people are saying. Be afraid of AI. Oh, I'm very afraid. I used AI to write a joke for our client, and it got used on air for something. 12 of my jokes. Okay, Thomas. 12 of my jokes and one AI joke for a game show. Yeah. Yeah, they gotta it's gonna replace a lot of jobs. And I still see all these conversations from basically the godfathers of AI,
Mm.
and they're all warning us. They are the conversations have been like this. Yeah, you know how things get into the hands of the wrong person? This is one of those things that can easily get into the hands of the wrong person, and we are concerned. Because
Yeah.
when that person calls you, remember like what was I don't know if those I still get those. I don't get robocalls as much as I used to, but there was a point when COVID was happening, they would be
Yeah.
doing press conferences and they'd be like, "Oh my god, my phone is going off." And it was
Yeah.
those robocalls. Like, why was that even happening? Why was that even allowed to go on our mobile phones? They
Right.
couldn't control that for a number of years. It's still kind of out of control.
Yeah.
Imagine with AI. Imagine.
And with AI, like I've talked to some of my friends who are like in like coding and who are like in computer science, and like what they've told me is that like AI like gets programmed with all this like the biases and like the prejudices that the person who creates it has. So it's not like this completely neutral thing. Like it does have biases, and we've seen super quickly like there was like a few years ago this AI controlled like Twitter account that like would like respond to people, and like very quickly it became like racist and anti-Semitic and all this stuff. So yeah, like I don't.
I asked it about Harlem this week. I asked for some trivia questions about Harlem, and it says, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, it
Uh,
doesn't know.
it was like, "We're still learning." I go, "No, no, you're not the only one.
Yeah.
Welcome to my world,
That's so funny.
my little G chat." All
I've
right, so
heard. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I have heard of like some writers like using ChatGPT for like brainstorming ideas for writing. And I think that's generally like I think that's like harmless. Like if it's like you're just like using it as like if you don't have like an actual person to bounce ideas off of, just like quickly seeing like what ChatGPT might have to say.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I don't want like ChatGPT writing entire scripts or writing entire like stand-up hours. That just sounds horrendous.
Yeah, there's no nuance
Mm-mm.
in chats, but they will learn. This is just the beginning of it. This is a very pivotal moment.
Yeah,
Um
absolutely.
okay. But I will say that for the like what was it Sarah was saying, there's good and bad, there's pros and cons, yes, to everything, but here's the thing, the cons always get into the hands of the wrong person. That's the problem. I see a lot
True.
of pros to it. I see a lot of like just doing flyers on Canva now. They're using
Oh, yeah.
AI, which is going to be a game changer for like just promoting shows.
Oh,
All right, let's
absolutely.
speaking of robots, let's bring on this robot. What up, Dave
Hi,
Juskow?
everybody. Nice to see everybody today.
I didn't give a why you
Hello,
late?
Evelyn. Nice to
Why
see
you
Hello, I
late?
you.
heard you were talking shit last week.
That's what I usually do.
Yeah.
I
Even though
make
I was in Jersey last week, actually.
really. What were you doing there?
Theater.
My boss
Activity.
invited me to her baby's first birthday party, and
Oh,
she
that's
lives out in
nice.
Don't let him
Jersey.
distract you, Evelyn, from
Where in
giving
New
him shit.
Jersey?
No, 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 don't give him shit, Evelyn. Don't let you see what he's doing.
Where in New Jersey?
He's trying to drag you out of what you were
I
doing.
need to know that kind of
Tell
stuff,
him.
though. I like to know where in Jersey.
Tell him first that he doesn't get a chance to talk about you when you're not here.
Yeah. So keep my name out of your mouth, first and
Yes, that's
foremost.
right.
And second, it was in Somerville.
Oh, nice. That's nice there. It's hard to get to, though.
It took forever. But yeah, so that's why I wasn't here. But happy to be back. Everyone missed me. I heard that everyone was standing up for me in the comments. So
Well, I still think you could have done the show on their way there, or go to a room while you're in that baby shower. I think everybody knows that, there are ways to completely still do the show, and, keep your, you know, be, what do you call it? A team player.
a team player. Okay,
No,
I'll.
she was a team player when she let us know. And look, ain't nobody getting paid for this. So it's very chilled and relaxed. And
I thought she
Evelyn
was
knows.
getting paid for this.
No, you ain't getting
No.
paid. Nobody getting paid. And
You
it's the
you've always
summer's
been paying
nights.
me. Oh,
I had paid you nothing. You know what I paid you?
you paid me
Nothing.
in the fact that I'm allowed to be on the show at all.
You know, I want to say this before I forget. We have two shows coming up. One is for Juskows, which is this Monday. Mine is the week following week after. I'm offering free tickets to my show. If you would like to come to my show, which is on the 22nd, feel free to leave your name in the comments in the chat. And uh, let's see, hit me up. I'll put the I haven't used this email in a while, but I'll put the email where you can hit me up, and I'll reserve tickets for you at the Fat Black Bar as part of the Comedy Cellar. Now, if Juskow wants to do that, that's on him. I ain't gonna, I ain't gonna. You want to talk about your show?
No, no. Thank you for mentioning it, though. It's
You know,
Monday.
You're not offering any free stuff?
I don't think I can. I don't know what the story is. It's my first time back, and I don't know how it works exactly.
Who's on the lineup?
Marina, Dan Natterman, my friend Alon,
Yes.
Nick Griffin, and Caitlin Palufo.
Oh.
It should be a very fun show.
Nice. I will be promoting my show throughout the week as well. And you can see it in my stories on Instagram. Like we were talking about artificial intelligence. I suck at doing flyers. I try so hard, but you did a pretty good job though on that flyer.
Well, you talk about the Instagram one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was like really impressed with that. Took a lot of time, you know.
It takes a lot of
I
time.
mean, I can't, like Evelyn, I'm sure could do that on her phone. You know, I had to use a video editing software and, you know, do all this stuff to make it happen. I just can't do it on my phone like the kids can. It's fascinating.
I can't even do it on my phone. Like I can use like TikTok very basically, but like most of the time I just use like Photoshop for.
Yeah, when I see people your age, Evelyn, doing stuff on Instagram or TikTok and just go and just add it, put it in the music, and then I'm amazed. And it could also have the problem that I have an Android phone, which makes things even more complicated.
Yeah.
The iPhone seems to make things a lot easier. I have a lot of trouble.
It's like, yeah, to me, I do it a little bit for work because the brand that I work for has a TikTok, but I don't really do my own personal TikTok. It's just like, it's so much effort. Like even if people are able to do it quickly, like it takes a while. Like the TikTok interface is not good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to post more comedy. I posted one about a guy's laugh this week. It took me so long. It's like it really is a lot of work.
Yeah, I want.
There's some comics that they will post like a new clip every day, and like there's some comics that are fully like I consider them like TikTok comments or comics or like Instagram comics because they're really trying to garner an audience online. Like I'm not sure like how much that like results in like in-person turnout to shows. But
well, I think it does. I mean, the problem is, and it's a major problem, I'm sure Marina can tell you, is that a lot of those kind of people that aren't very funny and aren't very good at comedy are getting so many people in because they're viral, a sensation, that they will fill a place. And then a person like Marina or a David Tell doesn't have a gig to play because they have these influencers taking the comedy spots, and then they have nothing to say when they get up there. Not that it matters because everybody's coming and they're buying. And, you know, that happened at the Stress Factory. They were telling me about it. Some 19-year-old kid, all these girls like sold out. 23-year-old girls were sold out. And he was in the dressing room with his dad. He's like, what should I talk about? He goes, what should you talk? You're on in 5 minutes.
Oh my God.
You know, it's like that's what's happening though, right, Marina?
Yeah, but there's also a thing of like, you know, you can't fight, don't fight it. You know, it's like getting older and you kind of like let it in. So like you got to be a part of it because imagine if people like me or, you know, I mean, David Tell's on a different level than I am, obviously, but imagine if we were doing that combined with going up. It's good.
Yeah.
So you usually get usually get someone to do it for you.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's bad to have these people on. I'm saying it's bad to have them on at comedy clubs. I don't, you know, because then it kind of takes away from what they're there for. But the owners of comedy clubs are so desperate to get everything sold out. That's the issue. They don't care.
Money.
Yeah, but yeah, boy. Oh, and what is the worst part when a lot of these people put on them doing comedy and there's no laughs? I'll never understand that. I've seen that a bunch of times with girls I know and guys too, and they just put up their sets and nobody's laughing. I'm like,
I haven't seen that.
How is that helpful? I'll tell you exactly who later. And
I haven't seen that, but I've heard of people doing that.
Examples
like, why?
off the top of my head, right? And I'm sitting there going, I don't. How is this help? They're so desperate to put up content that they're fine with nobody laughing. Now there's this other kid I know, this guy Jeremy. He's a genius. He only puts up his intro, and I'm thinking about just stealing it. He just puts up his intro. Please welcome this guy to the stage, and they applause, and then he cuts out. I mean, that's magic. That I don't know
Those are
whether he's
funny.
doing it on purpose, whether he actually thought of that, or because if he
I
thought of that,
I
then
did
that's
that. I did that for the one where I was in Vermont, where you just see me like coming on the stage to music, and that's it. Then it
yeah.
cuts out.
Well, let me tell you something. That is brilliant because you can never lose. You know.
And
Yeah, 'cause
this
people
week,
come back.
yeah, and this week I did the one with the guy who had a weird audience laugh that was really disruptive, and so I don't get to waste my material because I'm not putting new material up.
Yeah.
I usually put old material up that I don't mind losing. That's the thing. I guess younger comics like to put on crowd work because they don't want to give away their material.
Yeah,
But
it's like
here's
all crowd work.
it's all crowd work. The problem with that is now young people are seeing that on Instagram, and of course that's like the real world to them.
Sujay just wrote that. He just said
Yes,
exactly
yes,
what you're
yes,
saying.
yes. So this actually happened to Sam Morrell
Oh
in
wow.
Vermont. A woman, after I was there, a woman left the show. I don't think he knows this, but it was like one woman. So Sam's doing fine. This is okay to mention. But she left the show because she was like, I'm sorry, he just didn't do any crowd work.
Which is so crazy
Really?
because as an audience member, like I don't really enjoy crowd work. And also as a comic, I don't really enjoy doing crowd work. So I
don't wanna
can't
talk to
imagine
the
someone
crowd.
being upset that it didn't happen.
Well, that's why I always think Todd Barry's got it down. Like he even calls his tour the crowd work tour, but he never does any crowd work. He just calls it that, and then he doesn't talk to the audience. He's
He
terrified
does
of
though.
them.
He has
And
a
then he gets
really
angry
good
when they talk back. So it's hilarious.
he does have a good interaction with the audience though.
But he doesn't like to go any further. He might have the interaction, but then he'll also complain if they get out of line and call security. He just takes care of it instantaneously.
I always think about Todd Barry is like the man in my head all the time that I think about when I'm bothered by something. I'm like, Todd Barry wouldn't like this either.
Right.
Like, because Todd, it could be a fly in the room, and Todd would be like, why did they let that fly in here?
What's up with that fly, man? What's happening with that
He's like,
fly?
that's a pretty loud fly.
Was that fly friend of Jeff Ross?
What are they feeding these flies?
Right.
These flies are big. This fly was big enough to
That's
like
some of my fly material, man.
distract the audience from my brilliant act.
Why are you ripping off my fly material, man? What's going on?
Oh, I love him.
Me too. I just had dinner with him last week.
Oh yeah.
It's fun having dinner with him because it's like a normal activity for somebody who's completely abnormal, and that is Dave Juskow saying that, and that's like a big deal. So it's like,
Oh,
fun.
let me just answer Thomas. So everyone else is watching on YouTube or on our YouTube is the main place to really watch this and comment. I always tell people the best place to watch this is on
Thanks,
YouTube.
Mike. You're right.
Just so you know, but you're fine on Facebook now
Too
that you're
much
getting it.
energy.
So that's where you can watch and comment as well. And you can be in the chat with the other people that are commenting there. If you feel lonely over on Facebook, come over to the YouTube family and
come
chat
over to
there.
YouTube, man. YouTube.
Okay.
It'd be nice, man.
So, oh look, he goes. Yeah, no, come on over because there's a whole group here. We got regulars like Mike Dickatoo, DJ Eric Prince. My new friend Sarah is here.
I love Sarah.
Sujay is here.
I
Sarah,
love Sujay.
I don't know if you want Juskow to be the one to love you, but Juskow loves you, so
I do.
He's into you.
Oh,
I just want to say that I'm on the border of putting up a sign in the hallway.
Yes.
Because someone put up a sign this morning about their package being stolen, and they wrote this. They wrote something like, to the person who stole my packages, I hope you fall down a flight of stairs, bitch.
Oh my God. Well, you know, it's nobody in the building though. It's probably
that's the implication of that sign, right?
That's not cool. Yeah,
I hope you fall down a flight of stairs, bitch. And I'm like, so I have an alternate sign that's going to say something like, my sign's pretty professional. It says, tenants leaving signs accusing neighbor. Oh no, that's not it. That's not the one. Anyway, it's basically saying like, it's not neighborly or productive to blame your neighbors.
Got that right, DJ.
What
He
is
wrote
DJ?
Black Karen's about to strike again.
Yeah, that's true. But it is true. It's like I tried not to write the sign. I was like, don't do it, Marina. Let it go. I have these conversations with myself so that I can evolve and be a better person, right? So I was like, don't respond to that sign. But I couldn't help it because I put up a sign a while ago about how we as neighbors could help each other out with these stolen packages. And here's the email. Let's form a group. Let's be a community. No one responded.
Yeah.
But you do think it is people from outside stealing the packages. You don't
Yes.
feel like it's neighbors, right?
It's people. It's people who get into the building. It's not a doorman's building.
I know. I've told you to send packages to my place.
Sarah's like, go to their go to their apartment and leave a note to their that I don't know who left that sign though. That's the thing.
I'm so intrigued if this person will respond to your note and be like even more mad.
I'm sure they will. I've tried to make it very neutral, and I tried to use AI to make it
not sound like you.
I did. I was like, AI, can you help me with this letter? And AI was like, we're still learning. Karen. Hey, Karen.
Karen.
Go to therapy, Karen.
That's so funny.
The other day in my building here, I was talking to the doorman, and this really beautiful girl came in who lives on the second floor, and I started talking to her, and the doorman was like, Dave, that was like so smooth the way you were just carrying on that conversation. I'm like, smooth? I saw a playbill in her hand and just went to town. I'm like, oh my God, what did you see? It was like the exact opposite of smooth and manly. Oh my God, what show did you see?
What show did she see?
Fat Ham? I hadn't heard of it.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It's like a new version of Hamlet of some sort, huh?
Yeah, I haven't heard too much about it, but I know that.
Yeah, I haven't heard that much.
Creative.
There's so much new stuff on Broadway. I'm dying. I can't wait to see it. I told you I saw Oliver last week. That was
the argument they had, by the way, for the Tonys and the writer's strike was they said, please don't strike us. We're struggling.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Right. The people who are on strike make a lot of money. Maybe it's not as much money as they can make, but they make a lot of money. Broadway is, yeah, they tickets are a lot, but the people that work there don't make that much.
I think
you saw Leopoldstadt?
So
I heard that's fantastic.
I saw that maybe a month or so ago. It was really good. The main actor in it, Brandon Uranowitz, was nominated for a Tony.
I heard that too. My
I
sister
think
said
that
Life
argument
of Pi was amazing.
I think that argument about the people who strike make a lot of money is not a good one because not everyone on that line makes a lot of money.
No, but
I don't make a lot of money.
Make a lot of money on that line. So
people we know, but there's a lot of people who don't.
I guess so.
No,
I don't make that much money either. I'd like to pick at my
the gap between the executives and how much these writers make is huge.
It's so and they're only asking for a 3% raise.
Sarah, the original cast hasn't been in the Book of Mormon for 7 years.
Wait, focus, Dave. Did you hear what she said? It's very important. Say that again.
WGA is only asking for a 3% raise.
That's not bad.
Well, I'm sure it'll work itself out. They strike all the time, and they always go back to work, and everything's fine. Why should I worry this time that it's going to be different?
Well, here's the thing I do have a problem with, and I agree with you, Juskow, is I said this earlier, I do see a lot of partying on the picket line. Like, there's a lot of pictures of people like, hey.
Yeah, they're having a good time.
And I'm like, there are people really struggling out here.
Right.
So, like, this is not like a party. Like, there was someone who wrote, go ahead.
But it's like not like struggle like you're, like that What's Happening episode we were talking about last week, where they were picketing the store, the supermarket they were working on, or a teacher's strike, I mean, that's,
it's entertainment. All these shows that you watch, people love.
I get it.
People go to comedy clubs. Do you think that that's not valuable? Are we not essential?
No, I don't know.
This is what this person wrote. The strike lines have echoes of a cocktail party. Yeah. I start around looking for someone better to talk to. Others hope to get laid. Many grit their teeth and just hope to get through it. The diary.
I saw a girl at the cellar. You were with me on Tuesday. You see that girl with the picket sign? That girl, I just met her for the first time. We talked for a while. She seemed real nice. She was on an episode of Seinfeld like 30 years ago, and she had the picket sign with her. And I'm like, what's she doing picketing? Who's she? I don't think she does anything.
Oh, the one who's always at the cellar?
I didn't know she's always there. It's the first time I ever met her, but she had the picket sign. In fact, I was so angry because she was talking and she was going crazy. She had a glass of wine. I got a problem with this with all the ladies I know that she's going to spill that glass of wine. So I keep placing it in a different place. Then I keep saying to her, please just respect the glass of wine. And she's not paying attention. And her wines are all, because with Olga, I had that problem all the time. And she'd always end up spilling it.
He thinks we're laughing at him. No, we're not. No, keep talking, Juskow. Isn't it a beautiful thing when his audio cuts out?
It's really lovely.
Oh, look at that.
I wonder why.
Your microphone was just tired of hearing you talk.
Okay, let me address this, Sarah.
Is
Sarah,
it working now?
Yeah.
Yeah. You bring up a good point. I just don't see the point in picketing every decade with no change in the end until the next strike. There has to be another form of protest that is long lasting with real change. The thing about this is, and we were talking about this earlier, when they're out there and I did not know this, when they're out there on the picket line for the Writers Guild, they are preventing productions from opening. So that means that actors going to work for, let's say, The View, or let's say whatever production that's going on at HBO, they cannot cross that line. So if I'm out there, Marina Franklin, with my little sign, which was written badly as a writer, they can't cross it because I'm there. So it is very productive, actually. And I did not know that. Yeah. I thought it was just, you just walking around, you're letting people know how you feel. That's not what that is. This is totally like you're creating a line that people shall not cross. You being like Moses.
True. I think also part of it, like I might be wrong, but I think like the 2007, 2008 writer's strike, like it did end and they did come to like an agreement that suited the writers at the time. But like so much has changed in the industry. Like there weren't streamers in 2007. Like AI didn't exist in the way that it does now. So they're just new things have come up and writers have not been compensated. So like they are trying to make, long lasting change with this one. It's changed. The field has changed so much.
Every time there's been a writer's strike, I've gotten screwed. In 2007, I had a series. Of course, it got quashed.
Because what happens? They clear the slate.
Yeah, the little people who are trying to get started always get screwed.
So you're saying you had a show in what year?
I want to say 2007 or whatever she said, or unless there was one earlier than that, maybe it was 2003 or 4. I don't remember.
I think it was 2007, and then before that there wasn't one since like 1988.
Yeah, so 2007. Then I had a show called Gross Negligence that was going to be on what was that? That network that's for boys.
FX.
No, I can't remember it now. It's something else now, but it was it wasn't Comedy Central. It wasn't Sci-Fi. It was, I don't remember, but it was a popular network at the time, like Spike.
Okay,
something like that, Yeah. And the show was going. They got the guy. I wrote it, but then they got the guy who wrote Liar Liar, that really good Jim Carrey movie, to look at the rewrites and give me notes. And I'll never forget, I showed my dad the notes because they were like so good and so professional. Like it was really exciting. His notes were excellent, and it was exciting working with a real writer. And then the writer's strike happened, and it was just over. They do clean house, and they, some people make it through and some people don't. I mean, I guess that could be like anything else, but they definitely look at everything. Or somebody like me finally crawls through the cracks, a strike like that can just destroy you.
Picketing is part of a multi-pronged strategy, says Sujay. At the bare minimum, it raises awareness for the issue by providing a visible presence for those often rendered without a voice. Love it. And you're right, Juskow. A part of me is almost like, I'm so glad I didn't start the pitch on my show, because it would be gone, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It's one of those things. You're kind of, I mean, I know you're not, you're, people like you. You're in the world. You're a comedian. You're known. So, it's possible you could survive. But somebody like me who really wasn't known, and I just got this, I got lucky. I had somebody that was championing the show at the time at that network. I was a bit of a more tougher sell.
Yeah,
I think you could survive.
And I'm still a
something
tough
like that.
sell. It's still a tough sell. Even like
Yes, it
like
is. It is, of
yeah.
course. But because you're not known in television in that sense yet, as a producer or a writer yet, but you are a known entity in entertainment. So that's helpful. It's like when I started doing other shows, I was pitching them and people liked them. And the girl who was working with, we used to produce Sarah's show. And she's like, God, this was so much easier when Sarah was involved. I'm like, oh, no kidding. Because that, somebody like her is not going to be affected by a strike if she's in the middle of doing a show. They will rethink it, but they'll probably give Sarah Silverman the benefit of the doubt and say, let's just keep doing it with Sarah because people love her.
Yes. It's hard when the opposite is true. When they go, oh, we don't need them. That's why I told someone, they asked for my advice for me about like going forward in this business. And I said, just be nice to everyone you can be nice to. Just be nice, because let me tell you, people have long memories in this business, and people are finicky, and it's hard to get stuff done. And the reason it's hard to get stuff done is because people are thinking, do I really want to work with this individual?
That's one thing. And it's also, people just are afraid to also take a chance, especially the executives you're working with. They get nervous because their jobs are on the line. That's always been the problem. It depends on the people. It's very few and far between of the people that have guts to take a chance on somebody. And again, I'm not using Marina as an example because it seems like a no-brainer. You have acting experience, you're a comic. But again, there are people like me or even Seinfeld at the time, taking a chance on some. I mean, it's even depicted in the Seinfeld show where they clearly went through that because that's what they're writing about, Larry David and Jerry, when Jerry and George are doing the show together. And Bob Balaban's like, I got a feeling about you guys. He's taking a chance. I mean, that came from
a real story. Yeah.
Experienced. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's hard to take a chance on somebody because that person could, if it's not the president of NBC and an underling, what's a great example? The Budweiser, the Bud Light with the trans person. And the woman that suggested all this got fired. I mean, she was taking a chance. She's like, we could expand our thing if we got Bud Light in the. I mean, you feel bad for her, but because she's taking a chance and she totally got fired.
She got fired for that.
She got fired because it ruined Bud Light, not by anybody's fault except crazy fucking weirdos that give a shit that one trans person wants to drink Bud Light. So, there's the same people that we are nervous about in this upcoming election who are shooting beer cans. This woman was taking a chance. Like, what if we went for it? Meanwhile, on the flip side of that, Yingling, I don't know if you heard about this, they're changing their beer to red, white, and blue and just have a big USA rules on it to try and get that Bud Light, the people back. It's it ruined Bud, period. DJ Eric Prince says.
However,
how could that happen? Who gives a shit, right?
The stock dropped too.
Bud Light, by the way, sucks. I mean, the other countries would be laughing at us that could be an issue. It's like one of the worst beers of all time. I actually like regular Budweiser because I'm like, if I'm going to drink piss. I'd rather have the not light kind.
Tom Kelly said I started drinking Bud again because of the trans woman, Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan. Her
Yeah.
name's Dylan.
Dylan Mulvaney. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's really pretty. And it's really funny until she started talking. I didn't even know she was trans. I thought it was a girl.
It's just so, I do believe also
Yeah, Bud Light's nasty.
that these people just have more time on their hands, and they are really not the best of society that are doing that are moving the numbers in this way.
No, it's awful.
Because it's happening with Disney stock right now. Now
Yeah.
Disney is like plummeting in the stocks in a sense. It hasn't really moved for like the past 3 years. I've been watching Disney. It's Disney. I'm like, Disney stock should be where Netflix is, but they're having their streaming issues not quite there yet. They're
going to combine with Hulu now. They're definitely having some issues, and they're changing it around.
Well, they have
Is it all because of the Ron DeSantis thing, you think, with the Disney
they have a
World?
they have a new executive who's in charge, which that was controversial. This person who I think he came back or
yeah, like he was an executive. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And so also the Ron DeSantis thing, I believe, has had a huge effect on Disney stock.
Do. Okay, that's what I was going to say. That's
what
I thought maybe too.
Yeah. It's like Jim Norton fans. It's like Opie and Anthony, but now they're affecting elections and brands like, Bud. It's crazy.
The Ron DeSantis thing is ridiculous, of course. However, there's another side to it, which is kind of funny that, like, Disney World came in and they just, that guy was a genius, bought up all that land, and they got all these tax laws because it was totally bringing people in. So there is something to it about maybe we should give this a second look now because they've had this for a long time and all this kind of stuff. But the way he's doing it is just absolutely awful. He's making it a bad way of doing it.
Yeah, he's showing that he has no skills.
Yeah.
That's what he's showing. And it's making him look like a moron and not presidential.
Yeah.
Now I got a question for you.
There it is.
I got a question for you guys. Now I keep arguing with someone individual, I won't say who it is, about whether Trump or DeSantis, which one is worse. And I'm like, they're both horrible. I don't know why do I have to choose which one is worse?
I think Trump is worse.
You think I think Trump is
I agree with you, Marina. Like, I think it's so hard to pick. I will say, like, DeSantis has like actually enacted like, I think so much worse policy than like Trump. Trump talked a big talk, but he didn't really do.
You know why, Evelyn? Exactly what you're saying. I'm sorry, you just got me going. Like, he's more, even though we just said he's not presidential, he's more of a politician than Trump was. So Trump couldn't put together the stuff he kept talking about, but Ron DeSantis. So you're right. You just changed my mind. He might be more dangerous.
Yeah, because all the stuff, like Florida is unlivable basically for the queer community at this point. Like, I know a lot of people, like Dwayne Wade, like moved his family out of Miami because his daughter is trans and like they can't live there anymore. Right? But unfortunately, like there aren't like for some people that's just not possible to move. But yeah, so it's like I don't think I'll ever go visit Florida because it's not safe.
Yeah, someone had said this at the cellar. Actually, they were talking about someone from Venezuela was sitting there with Noam. I told Noam, I said, stop having these white boy conversations. If you keep having these white boy and then he took my mask and he popped it. He took it.
His whole show is about that.
Who? Noam?
Yeah, that live from the table. They love those white boy conversations.
Oh my God. But he has some dude who was from Venezuela who was like, we are the most oppressed. I was like, all right, now it's time for me to walk away. Once you start saying you're the most of anything, I just got to walk away. But then he also said this. He goes, we just need someone who can better say the things. And I go, no, that's not good. So you're saying you want someone who can linguistically hide their evil.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm torn because Trump said it. Trump would actually, that was what was confusing to people. We were so used to people hiding behind all this linguistic bullshit. Yeah. All of a sudden, Trump was saying the words that, and people were still like okay with it, and Republicans were like, "Oh, we can say that.
Yeah.
We can say how we actually feel. Oh, didn't know that could work." And now it's like, so I don't know. I don't know. I think they're both bad. I just
They're
can't.
just both bad.
I can't go one's worse. They're both awful human beings.
Yeah.
One is an assault. I mean, the person I keep talking to says that at least DeSantis has guardrails.
I don't know if he even does. Like, I don't like, I think like even if he, like you said, like even if he's not saying his beliefs out loud all the time, which like I think he still does sometimes, like he still had like ideologically like does not believe that like trans people should have rights, or does not believe that like women should have autonomy over their body. Like that's just like not good. Like I don't see that as a guardrail.
Yeah. Oh, oh my God, it's 4:00. Let's do a review. And just a reminder to the in the chat, I have put in there, I'll put in again my email if you want free tickets to that show on the 22nd. That's a 9:30 show at the Comedy Cellar's Fat Black Pussycat Bar, not lounge, bar. And there you can see me. I will be doing an hour. Juskow will be hosting that, right?
Yeah. Very excited.
And
Thank you.
we're trying to keep him alive, basically.
Yep.
And so come to that show. If you email me in the chat at marinalivecomedy@gmail, and you say you want tickets, you say how many, I will put you on my list because you are here on the live today. But that has to be emailed to me today. So it's not like if you're watching this throughout the week, maybe. But if you're watching this right now and you write me right now, I'll get you those free tickets. Okay. Go ahead, Evelyn.
Right. So yeah,
Give us
so
some
we have a
lives.
great thank you. We have a great assortment of reviews this week. Most of them coming from Twitter, actually, but just a reminder to leave friends like us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the podcast get found by people who could be viewers but are not, or listeners but aren't already. So this first review is from this week's episode with the comment was responding to a clip of Vanessa Franklin. Pammy D says, excellent episode. I very much enjoyed it. And then this review comes about last week's episode. It's from Black and Historic Preservation, who said, great podcast episode that explores the challenges and opportunities for Black museum professionals. Be sure to listen. And then the last review comes from not last week's episode, but actually the week before, about disability awareness, from Devin Nixon, who said, this is such an important conversation. I can't tell you how infuriating it is to be treated like, because I can't do a couple things, I can't do anything. Make everything accessible. I'm grateful for what this journey and podcast is teaching me. Access matters.
Whoa.
So we did some great reviews this week.
Listen, great. Yeah, that was a great episode this week. We had, I think Dave likes he just likes women, I think.
Yeah.
So whatever, like when I have a really, I think you like Vanessa. I think that's one of the ones that you
talking about me?
Yeah. Vanessa was so funny on our show.
Do I know her?
You were the time you asked her about her baby's daddy. Remember that moment?
Oh, DeCarlo, or isn't that her?
No,
Vanessa. You were like, so is that your baby's daddy? And we were all like,
oh. Right. I remember.
And you were like, what?
Well, hey, I learned something. Not to say that anymore. I didn't even know it was a bad thing.
So I'm gonna share a moment with her. Hold on, here we go. You guys talk amongst yourselves. That should be easy, right?
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to remember what I guess oh my God, now I was going to get myself into more hot water. Mixing up her and DeCarlo, I guess.
Here it is. Can you hear it?
I don't remember her at all.
I want to spill the tea on Diana. I said, let Dirty Diana be Dirty Diana if that's what she was doing. from Berry Gordy to this one and that one, and you know the girl daughter's still working. You don't do that with the other Miss Tracy Ellis Ross out here. You don't talk about nobody's personal business like that. They cheering on. Look, Evan Ross can hear you. You don't talk about nobody's business like that. Now the grandbabies know about it. You was Uncle Smokey. Now you done came over here and disrupted the holiday meal. Ain't nobody. You know they gonna talk about this at the holiday meal. You hear me? You don't do that. That's just tacky. I don't like people that speak on that. That you don't speak on that. That's supposed to be our private hour. Haven't they noticed the changes in you?
She's talking about Smokey Robinson, basically.
Oh, I thought it was a black term.
Which one?
I don't
Smokey?
Smokey. Yeah,
Maybe it is out of
I'm not
context.
familiar with that terminology.
So basically, Smokey Robinson in an interview where wasn't even talking about Diana Ross was like had admitted that he had an affair with her after a year.
Oh, exciting.
For a year. He was like for a full year. And that's why Vanessa's like, you don't do that. You got the babies out here.
Was that on your show?
Yeah, that was on my show.
Oh.
It's so funny.
Isn't that funny?
I love her energy.
She's got the best energy, and she's got a beautiful singing voice. I love whenever Vanessa comes by.
No, I don't remember her. I'm sorry.
Oh, and just an update for you about before we go. Family says that Jamie Foxx is out of hospital. His daughter reports that he's been playing pickleball.
Well, what was he in the hospital for, though? Did they say?
They don't want to say.
Weird.
It's his private medical information.
Medical complication.
Yeah, but you can't just, everybody knows, and there's all the social media and all this kind of stuff, and then not just, you're better off lying.
Well, people said there was a story that came out, and this is the reason why they had to do this, because someone said that it was turning for the worse. It was some article that was just randomly.
I think I saw that.
Yeah. And it's weird. It's like, because I had heard that he had been in there for quite some time. And when you're in the hospital for a long time like that, you can start to worry a little bit.
Yeah.
But she says he's out with medical complications. So we will never know.
Yeah.
How will you find out?
Don't worry about it.
By the way, Sujay, who's on here, I told Dave that you found out where his favorite bar is.
What? No, that bar sucks now. There's a new bartender and he's a piece of shit.
What do you mean?
Well, first of all, the owner just died yesterday or last week. So now there's a problem.
So wait, your favorite bartender is still there, right?
No. See, well, my favorite bartender got pregnant, so she won't be there. If she comes back, it'll just be on Mondays, which will be great. But right now there's this douchebag. I mean, a complete douchebag. So now I enjoy the bartender that's there on Tuesday nights, but I got to wait till 9 o'clock for him to get there, so then I can't go in anymore. And then the other girl I like is on Wednesdays through Sundays, but I just never happen to be there. I'm always there Mondays and Tuesdays. So that's fine. But this other guy is just the absolute worst. And we got into a big fight. Like I said, the owner just died 2 weeks ago. So now it's in a transitionary period.
Well, I'm sorry, Dave.
Oh no, she wasn't that great, but the good owner is still alive.
Okay.
This owner was the reason why my friend had left, because she hated her, so now she can come back, which is good.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she was always nice to me.
See you, DJ Eric Prince. You guys follow DJ Eric Prince on Twitch, please. He'll be DJing. He's a lot of fun. It's good music at 6 o'clock on Twitch. Right here. Go listen. He plays house music. It's dance music. I saw my guy your guy, the one that annoys me at the farmer's market today, Dave. And I had a conversation with him. I had a conversation with him, Dave.
Yes.
He was at the soap place.
Yeah, but he loves the farmer's market. Why are you so angry at him?
I told Lily May Aromas, I was like, he bugs me, right? She goes, why? She goes, he's so nice. I go, it's so just nice. Something about him, just his energy, He's just smiling. He comes in on his bike. He wears his helmet all throughout the whole farmer's market. It just bugs me. So today, though, he talked. Guess what he does for a living?
What?
He's a news commentator or reporter on Pix.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe
I guess that's
why
why
I
he has
feel-
to be so smiley all the
I
time.
watch that all the time, so maybe I recognized him. That's why I liked him so much.
And the way he told me, it was like, he was like, yeah, you probably know who I am. I was like, I don't know you.
You really hate that guy.
You're
I
not
wanted to-
famous.
I was like, I don't know you. He was like, yeah. He goes, I'm kind of like, he goes, I wear all this makeup from TV. So you're so real. He had to just drop that in, right?
Of course.
I didn't ask.
Actually,
He
next
dropped-
Saturday,
I
I'm
didn't see what
going.
you do actually. He dropped that in about because that's why I asked what he does because he was like, I have to take all this makeup off because I'm on TV.
Oh my God.
Next Saturday, I have to go to a CNN. I don't have to. I'm going to a CNN party with a bunch of my friend's a correspondent for CNN, and he has a party every time this time of the year. He's got a nice backyard in Brooklyn.
Oh, well, have fun at that.
He's very nice.
Oh, played nice, Marina. I played nice with the guy. I was like, oh, okay. But his whole thing was that the soap that he likes this one specific soap that he can use on his face. He goes, the other one had rose petals and it was too rough for my skin. I was like, you just
Rose petals.
oh, you're nailing it. You're nailing it as an annoying person.
Pix is like the Channel 11 here in New York, Mike. It's a like the CW network station. It's a local news, a local station here in the city.
Oh, it's only local? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's only local. They
Okay.
write down on 42nd and 2nd. That's where they're.
Should I have
that's where
said
they're
that to
from.
him? Oh, it's only local.
Well, you could say that to him next week.
Oh, this is not it. Oh, okay. So
No,
only
it is
New
only-
Yorkers know.
Only
who
New
you-
York.
The only New Yorkers know who you are.
Well,
so
New York,
it's
Connecticut,
fine.
New Jersey. That's a lot of people.
Only New
though.
Yorkers with cable.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's an antenna show.
Yeah.
That's one of the networks you can get for free.
I'll play nice. Well, we do have to get going. This was a lot of fun.
This was fun.
Even though Juskow, you showed up late, but it was good. I got to talk to Evelyn more.
I got to work.
Yeah.
And Evelyn has a lot of stuff coming up. So, she may not be here on a Saturday. So just prepare
What?
yourself for that. She's got a busy schedule. She's got anniversaries to attend. And, it's the summer. So, Evelyn, tell our viewers where they can find
We're just
you.
jealous that she has stuff to do in the summer,
Yeah.
And tell them about your show, too.
Yeah. So if I'm not on next week, I apologize. I will likely be in Chicago visiting my family. But you can find me on my website, evelynfrick.com, or on my Twitter at EvelynGFrick. And yes, I have an upcoming comedy show. You should go to Dave's show and Marina's show. And then on May 24th, you should come to my show. I'm hosting at Caveat, New York City. The lineup is Josh Gondelman, Allison Leiby, Max Gross, and Freddie Chanel. So it'll be a really fun show. Yeah, you can get tickets on Caveat's website. I think they're like $10, $15. Yeah, so would love that. That's at May 24th at 9:30 p.m.
Uh-oh, someone's coming for your job.
Oh, that'd be terrific. Hey, great.
Sujay, we would love to have you on, actually.
That'd be
Sujay,
fun.
that if you want to come on, you just send me a message. You know how to slip in my DM.
Sarah can come on too.
Yeah, I would love to have Sarah on. Oh, Sarah's been going through a lot. I feel so awful.
I was talking about this, Sarah. The chat room.
Oh.
Yeah, Sarah's dad just died.
Mm,
Sarah's sibling's
that's
dad.
awful. Yeah.
Well, it was expected, though.
Yeah.
It's just so right after his
Yeah,
wife.
because her stepmother died last week, and
Oh my
but
God.
that happens a lot.
It happened to
Older
my
couple.
grandparents. My grandparents
Yeah.
was literally my grandmother and then my grandfather.
They actually die of a broken heart.
Yeah, it's like
Literally.
a week apart. It's
Yeah.
kind
Yeah,
of
it
like
usually
how
happens
it
that way.
happens. Yeah.
Week to a month.
That's like real love right there.
Yeah.
Because Lord knows, I know some people who've been hanging on years. you like you didn't really love that motherfucker, did you? Because you still out here. Anyway, Dave, tell you. So you mentioned your show.
The show's on Monday with you,
Yes.
and then I'll be on your show with me
Where's your show at?
at the Fat Black at the bar, the Comedy
Yeah,
Cellar.
You got to nail it. People be asking questions like they didn't hear it the first time, so you got to repeat it.
Yeah, sorry. So
Yes. What time is that show?
7:35. Very important because there's a 7:30 show, so don't go to that one.
7:30. Yeah, 7:35. Oh, right. Mine's at 9:35 too. I guess I need to make that emphasis. Yes, follow us. Make sure you listen to the podcast. More importantly, Friends Like Us. It's a really, really funny episode out right now with Vanessa Fraction, Akeem Woods, Mia Jackson. All very funny. It's been a while since I've had all comedians on the episode, and it's definitely worth it. And if you missed out on the last episode before it, we talked about museum diversity in museums, Museum Hugh, which is actually in Brooklyn. And so check that out. And yes, go to our shows. The most important show, even one like my show is on the 22nd. That's a Monday, 9:35 at the Fat Black. Just go to comedycellar.com. In the links in the description, in the chats, you will see that you can try and get the VIP tickets, but it's only if you've been here for the live. Okay. Now, here is another really, really important show that I want you all to think about. It is a show that is a fundraiser for a very defunded school. Very defunded. There's no other way to put it. Extremely defunded school here in Harlem, PS 180. It's going to be at the Harlem Comedy Club here in Harlem. And you can get all that information on my Linktree, which is in the description. Okay. And that is May 25th. Okay. And that's with Keith Robinson, Yamanika Saunders, Gianmarco.
Gianmarco Ceresi.
Yes, I can't say. Gianmarco Ceresi, myself, Mark Theobald, Bevy. Bevy Smith will be there. She's a Harlemite. She's a real Harlemite. And it's just going to be, it's a really good show. And we're doing it to raise money for these teachers who are working so hard at a school that this mayor defunded. They don't have money to throw at a problem like they do in the lower echelon of Manhattan. You know, some parents can throw $10,000 at a problem, not at this school. The parents at this school, some of them are unhoused. Some of them are asylum seekers. Okay. So these kids should not be left behind because we don't have the money. So go to my Linktree, go to it right now and check out that show. Okay. Thank you so much for being here with us. My name is Marina Franklin. This is Dave Juskow, Evelyn Frick. Don't forget, wash your hands. You could still wear your mask if you want. And Black Lives Matter.
Good night.
Good night. That was the longest ending ever.